Hey guys, this is Bowen from Pure Investments. Thank you for watching another one of our weekly cryptocurrency reviews. I'm sorry last week didn't come out. We had some technical difficulties and we actually did upload it to our YouTube unlisted to get finalized and checked out, but sadly I had some technical difficulties actually getting that out. So I'm sorry we missed that week, but we are getting it out this week for you guys to see. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right into it. This is going to be a shorter video just covering the market right now, given the market is quite exciting. So, as always, we're going to start off in our market capitalizations. I'll be getting into Bitcoin, everyone's favorite and most curious cryptocurrency, in just a minute. But first, let's just look at our market capitalizations. We are seeing our market cap go down, but starting to stabilize. I'll be getting to that in 1 second. But first, let's just look at our top 5 and our general top 10. First, of course, we have Bitcoin and Ethereum in second place. Ethereum was overtaken by Ripple a while back. That was pretty weird, but we're back to a normal situation of $40 billion. Ripple at half of that. We're seeing Bitcoin Cash beating Litecoin, which I think is very interesting. I do think Bitcoin Cash will be going down, especially after that whole fiasco involving Bitcoin Cash. For those of you who've seen my videos before, you know I don't have a very high opinion of it. If you want to find out more about it, just go ahead and check pretty much any crypto news source. You can find out exactly what happened. They basically said they're going to buy their Bitcoin Cash back once it reaches the same price, but we'll see what actually happens. Then we have Litecoin, and we've seen a resurgence then from EOS, actually reaching a relatively close market cap to Litecoin of about half, a little bit over half. EOS has seen some huge growth lately, which really quickly, let's just look at their graph. Again, there's a huge amount of hype behind EOS, which is really interesting given that they have promised a really cool product, but they haven't delivered. This is very similar. This right here. This right here is a very similar graph as to what we see many cryptos in the space looking like. Sort of a huge rise up here with Bitcoin and its huge rise up, and then sort of a drop down. We are now seeing some cryptos start to spike, and EOS has been the forerunner of that, not just spiking, but doing a huge comeback from a low of 55,000 Satoshis-ish, 54,000 Satoshis, all the way up to a high of 90,000 Satoshis, so not quite doubling, but maybe 80-ish% gain, which is pretty interesting, and I do think we'll see this from a lot of cryptos in the space that people are excited on. We are seeing Cardano closely following EOS, a very similar project to EOS as with Neo, a backbone crypto that is meant to have dApps and smart contracts built into it to create other cryptos. And they are all growing. We are seeing, EOS, Cardano, Stellar, and Neo all in this very close space, with IOTA and Monero and Dash falling behind. These sort of privacy coins falling behind. And Tron, the ultimate hype coin, following it. Tether, of course, to make sure that people have their money safe and secure, now that we know Tether isn't doing anything bad. And we are seeing some really interesting stuff with things like Binance Coin. Binance Coin being the native currency of Binance Exchange. It's growing. Well, that makes sense. The reason behind this being Binance is being used more, and you get rewards from holding the coin. So it makes sense that people would buy it. And as more people buy, yes, the price will rise, because that means people can sell it for more, because supply and demand. Basic economics right there. We're also seeing some really interesting growth in VeChain and Verge, or VenChain, VeChain, not sure. But again, this is the spikes I'm starting to talk about. We're starting to see the reversal of the cryptocurrency market overall. If we look at Verge as well, what some people call a pump coin, some people call the future of privacy coins, whatever you like to refer to it as. We are seeing it again rise in price from a low of around 300 something Satoshis, 360 Satoshis, to now at 900 Satoshis, which is really great because our team actually called a low here of around 360, I believe. So it dipped down a little bit below that, and then, it's seen some pretty good returns since. So that's been really nice. Remember, in this entire video, none of this is investment advice. This is just me talking about the market as a whole and how I view it. So before we jump into the cryptos, let's again quickly look at our market capitalization. So here we have the exact same graph that Bitcoin has. Let me quickly That's a preview, but there's the exact same graph that Bitcoin has. If we're going to zoom into more recent time, we can see we've fallen down from our massive market cap of $800 million to now a low of $200 billion. Now seeing a resurgence to $270 billion, which is way better than our all-time low, which was actually 280, 200, yeah, around 280, 250. Okay, there we go. But we're back to 280. And we're kind of seeing a small price stagnation here, though I don't know how long that will last. The fact is, this whole graph, total market capitalization, if you look, is really the same as this graph, excluding Bitcoin. They're very similar. You could argue, well, yeah, this one is a little bit more volatile. It's true. But the fact is, they're very closely related. Let's look down here at the percentage of total market capitalization in terms of dominance, which is extremely important to look at. We're seeing something really interesting in this space. You'll see I am unclicking all of these because I want to talk specifically about, our major two players right now, which are, interestingly enough, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So not a specific cryptocurrency, but others as a whole. We are seeing Bitcoin rise after its massive fall down to 32%, the lowest it's ever been. Others at a high point, higher than they've ever been. As Bitcoin rose, we saw others start to drop down to 18%, which many people expected to continue downwards as our other major players took over. But no, we are actually seeing others start to take a resurgence here, back up to 20%, with Bitcoin at 45%, making a total of 65% of market dominance being others and Bitcoin. So while we watch things like Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, Dash, NEM, Monero, IOTA, and Neo, there we go, you can see all of them are really petering off. We're really seeing a slowdown in our major cryptocurrencies, again, because a lot of what I just discussed was, a lot of these are really hyped. Like, if you're talking about just a transferable cryptocurrency, Bitcoin isn't good, but it is the leader. If you're talking about something that decentralized applications can be built off of, Ethereum is the massive one in the space. ERC20 tokens, they're everywhere. We literally have something for it right there. But it isn't the best cryptocurrency for building dApps off of it. It isn't the best one out there. Ripple is a cloud-based fiat currency. Bitcoin Cash is absolute trash. Litecoin, again, is not that good as far as transferable currencies go. EOS and Cardano are both not delivering on their product quite yet. Stellar is a good idea. We'll see where it goes. Stellar actually does have a good future. Neo is not easy to build off of because it is a very complicated and not conducive programming language, etc., etc. So we're starting to see some of these bigger cryptocurrencies really fall down in the space, which I think is really interesting and exciting for me because we've seen these guys for a while, and we're now making room for not just our other top 20, but our top 100 and microcaps to start to take over. I don't know why Bitcoin Diamond's still up there. We can, we're starting to see in the room for like Augur, for example, Komodo, Ion, PIVX, KuCoin could probably go up there maybe. We're seeing Golem and Nebulous. All these things are having Dragon Chain. We're seeing Lambda. Elf. We're seeing all these cryptocurrencies finally have room to grow as our major giants are receding. Without further ado, let's jump right into Bitcoin analysis. So, Bitcoin has been teetering on the edge of oh my goodness to everybody for a little bit now. I want to draw this one quick last line here. There we go. So, firstly, let's just look at my lines without looking at anything else. So I have one line here connecting our bottoms, boom, boom, and touching there as well to here. I have one line connecting these two bottoms, here, here, and here. And I have one line that is a support line simply because we stagnated here, and this is a price that we fluctuated on, so this horizontal line. Now, as you can see, it created a huge amount of support for Bitcoin right here that Bitcoin was really deciding on, and still is. This daily candle is not yet closed. So while it looks like it may close, it won't. This was the other day, this candle was all the way down here, and that was saying, there it is. I wasn't saying it, but I was thinking that it's the end of Bitcoin. Because, if we drop below it, that would really be a huge blow for Bitcoin. But you see, we came back up. And now the candle's up here. And it could be possible this ends up being a wick and the candle could close down here. We don't know yet. But if this candle closes here above maybe 7,200 or so, above this sort of resistance of 7,100 or so, I'm bullish on Bitcoin again. Mining profitability is still there, or at least could be. And we've finally seen a turnaround. This is not a TA line, but this is just a general kind of trend line. We have seen, Bitcoin in general. This has kind of been, we have been focusing on this point right here. We've been condensing sort of in this zone right here. This has been the spot we've been waiting for. All of our support and resistance lines have led to this area. So this is really deciding moment. If we break above this line, kind of invisible line here, we're going to see some really big moves from Bitcoin. And again, when people say, 50,000 incoming, well, I was very skeptical. But, if we finally see some bullish movement coming back again, I wouldn't be surprised. But if we break below this line, guys, it could be bad news. But I'll cover that once it needs to be covered. Until then, let's look quickly at our moving averages, 50 and 200. This is the first time ever in Bitcoin history, besides, I want to talk about this, the very first scare of Bitcoin right here, right? Our big drop from 300 all the way down to 200, which is a massive drop. But, now we've seen from 20,000 all the way down to 6,000. So, we've seen a bigger drop now. But this is the first time since then that we have seen our 50 our 50 cross our 200, which is it's a bearish sign. But as what happened last time, they crossed after the major drop off and some stagnation happened, and that's when the ramp up started to happen again. We had a bullish cross. I would not be surprised if the same thing happened here. If we kind of went here, dipped down, maybe rode this support line for a little bit, kind of fluctuated to the tip of that downward line I drew, and we saw another kind of bullish cross in that way. I would not be surprised if that happened. Again, once the daily candle closes, we'll have a much better idea of what's happening. You can see during this entire fall, we were having very low volume. It's kind of people lazily selling to to get rid of it, and people kind of just buying because it's cheap enough. And then here we saw, people are excited. People are excited. No, well, the volume is not showing that. People got scared. People said, all right, finally the price is at a price where I can sell my Bitcoin for middle returns. This is all these people who bought in this area, all this green. And boom, these people brought the price down. And then there's some buys here because people thought it was good. Some buys and some sells, generally buys. And then again, boom, another group of sells, people saying, oh, Bitcoin's dead again. But we're starting to see the buys come back. I think this is a very good sign for Bitcoin. Next up, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum, we're seeing a very interesting graph here. We're seeing almost a double bottom occurring. And Ethereum, Bitcoin is what I'm looking at because Bitcoin does control the market. But if you look at Ethereum right now, we saw it have a huge run up, a multi-1,000% run up. Let me just check that I'm right there. 1,700% run up from there, and from its very, very bare bottom, a lot more than that, almost 7,000% run up. But right here we're at a 1,600% run up, and then we had another huge run up from its massive drop off as Bitcoin ran. When Ethereum ran and Bitcoin was sort of going down here, we had another 400% run up. But Ethereum has been cooling off, especially in relation to Bitcoin. You can see we had a bearish cross here. Bullish cross as the price reached its peak. Another bearish cross. And what bearish cross means? We still have based off of history, we still have a little bit more time of downwards movement before we grow. But I would like to say we were at a pretty good resistance point, and I would say anywhere in here is where we could drop to. If we look at it in terms of USD, because I do think it's important to look at Ethereum in terms of USD again, just like Bitcoin, we're kind of hitting a stagnation point here. And again, if the daily closes above this orange line, above our 400 mark, we could see bullish movement again. But just like Bitcoin, where it's seen the cross, Ethereum's difference is it's heading towards it. So this would be really interesting to see what happens. And I think we have to watch out in that space. Again, we saw the kind of volume stagnation here, huge sell-off because, oh no, I need to make my, off the huge buys here, I need to sell. And we're finally seeing the buys come back. So this will be interesting to see where it goes. Next, let's look at every industrial investor's favorite cloud-based fiat currency, Ripple. And if you are a huge Ripple fan, I'm sorry I criticize it. It just isn't a cryptocurrency, and I do think it is a good cloud-based fiat currency. Do not get me wrong. Just like with Ethereum, we are seeing this bearish cross about to happen, but it has not happened yet. We are actually seeing the 200 line support the price right now in Ethereum, and almost kind of cutting through, which is quite interesting, because we are not seeing that on Ethereum or Bitcoin. And we look at Ethereum in terms of Bitcoin, we are seeing again a cut right through that line. Versus Ripple, it's kind of holding it, and although Ripple the line may go above because of how the price has been moving. But it's interesting because Ripple is holding right in the strong resistance point. You can see we've had high sells, and we can see we had a flag right here. I remember when I called this, I said, "Oh, flag! Remember everybody?" And I told all of premium members, I said, "Remember, look, there's a flag right here, just like we had here." But it looks like it's proving as a pretty good support right here, and we're seeing kind of a stagnation. If we look on the 4 hour, which I think is also important to look at. Again, we're seeing, instead of this dramatic drop-off in price or kind of crazy fluctuation, we're seeing a very steady up and down, which generally says that the market's trying to decide something. We're seeing the exact same thing in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think this next maybe week could really determine or a week or two, again, what happens with Bitcoin. Really determine what happens with all these cryptos. Oh, and for the record, again, I'm going 1 through 5, and then our 6 will be a special member. It's going to be Doge in this instance. But let's jump right into Bitcoin Cash. Oh, goodness. You guys know what I always say about Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin trash. Bitcoin trash is not going to do well, as I said, with the whole Roger Ver thing. Either they're going to buy their stash back, or they're not, and they're going to face a lawsuit and run away. Either way, Bitcoin Cash is not a good cryptocurrency. I would not recommend. I do not know how or why it has the market cap it does. That's all I have to say about that. It is also reaching a strong support line. Could see a return around, just like a lot of other cryptocurrencies right now, but that's just because of technical analysis, not because of anything fundamental. It is just a Bitcoin knockoff that had a lot of money put into its advertising. Right into Litecoin. Everybody knows I like Litecoin because Litecoin is like Bitcoin Silver, as it has been called. Again, it's not one of the best cryptocurrencies out there, but it's pretty good. And unlike a lot of the ones we just looked at, we are seeing Litecoin have its reversal. So, we see a lot of cryptos in the space kind of going here, and we're seeing a stagnation. Litecoin flagged, stagnated, but then quickly jumped up a little. Oh, let's check. Jumped up a nice little 8%. And from its very low, jumped up 10%. From its very, very bottom, let's turn you off, Magnet. And from its very, very bottom, we saw 17%, but even 13%, 10%. We're seeing Litecoin start to do really well, which is really exciting for me, because even with the whole Litecoin Pay thing not going through, we're seeing Litecoin turn around, which is really cool. You can see on a USD graph, we are seeing it reverse, right, at this sort of resistance line. You can see that's what I'm talking about, that price stagnation and bump up. We have been seeing that not in Ripple, not in Ethereum, but in Bitcoin we're seeing it. And in Ethereum we are seeing it, but only in USD. But Bitcoin, we're seeing this bump up, and we're seeing a lot of other cryptocurrencies, which is really interesting. Another good example is, did I miss it? Verge. I'm just going to look at it here because we don't need to see a trading view chart. We'll get the picture just from looking at it on CoinMarketCap. But like I already showed, look at that. We're seeing this comeback happen. It's happening a lot with the less major cryptocurrencies because it takes less fiat to change its valuation. And here on Litecoin, we are seeing its reversal happen. I do think that's because Litecoin, of our top 5, is our bottom of our top 5. That $7 billion does make a difference compared to the 12. It makes it a lot easier for the price to dramatically shift. So I think that we're seeing this happen. We're seeing Stellar come back. We're seeing Cardano come back. We're seeing EOS come back. Litecoin. I think we're going to start seeing it. Bitcoin Cash, then Ripple, then Ethereum, then Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's the biggie because it decides the rest of the market. Now let's look at our guest contender, our 6th cryptocurrency. It is Doge. Why in the world are you looking at Doge, Bowen? Well, that's a great question. Doge is a good market indicator. Not usually, but only recently with this recent spike, we've followed Bitcoin surprisingly well. Boom. So you can see we had this run up that happened with Bitcoin soon after run up with Doge. And then as Bitcoin fell, so did Doge. You can see almost perfectly they fell together. Bitcoin came back, Doge came back, Doge falls, Bitcoin falls. And now we're seeing Doge stagnating at this bye bye Bitcoin. At this 39 Satoshi value. Now Doge, I'm not, Doge is not a good cryptocurrency. It's just, it is a meme coin. It's a shit coin. But I do think it's very interesting that we're seeing it stagnate right here. Could we see another run up? Absolutely. I think that is absolutely possible. Especially because, again, like we have seen right here, for example, we saw it have a massive run up from 24 Satoshis all the way up to 100, down to 35. Recognize it? Look at that. 23 to 115, or 112, sorry, down to 40. So I think we could, Doge could go either way here, but Doge is one of those it's just a pump coin, it's purely based off of hype and people wanting to make money off of it. But it is also a good market indicator. So if Doge continues to fall, I think, well, Doge will continue to fall. Here's how I should put it. Doge will continue to fall if Bitcoin falls. Doge will rise if Bitcoin continues to rise. And I think that's really interesting. Again, another thing I want to point out is you see this 50-day kind of crossing towards the 200. And just like with Ripple, 200 is kind of supporting the price. The 50 is heading towards it. Same with Doge. You notice these are the market similarities. Again, these are the market similarities we are seeing. No, not you, Bitcoin Cash. We're seeing these market similarities all over because all crypto market is relative, just like how the S&P is related to Bitcoin, which is the last thing I wanted to get into. Nope, nope, that's not an and symbol. S and P, not cryptocurrency. What we're seeing in the S&P compared to Bitcoin is really interesting. So if we look at Bitcoin on a log, and we put these away really fast, and we hide these, or let's keep these out. The S&P is looking very similar to Bitcoin. You can see we both had these massive run-ups, and then on the very similar date, this is 2017, 12, 16, and this is 2018, 1-30. So you can see this started a lot earlier. This is 1-30 right here. Boop. Did draw a line? Okay, well, it's not drawing a line for me right now, but that's okay. That's so weird. That's really alright, though. We can see, again, the markets are connected here. We saw a drop-off, a comeback, and a drop-off again. We saw a drop-off, a comeback, and a drop-off again, with a really interesting double top here, which ended up being flattening. We could see a double bottom here. The S&P is currently resting on the 200-day, and I know a lot of people in the stocks community are really worried because, we've seen it touch here, and we saw it touch here. But if it breaks through, but if it breaks through, we could really see some bad news for the stock market, which makes sense given that the U.S. economy is pretty on edge right now. But Bitcoin, it's interesting because while they follow each other, Bitcoin is going up, while the S&P looks quite decisive. So we're really going to see. But that's all I have for you this week, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out our Discord and the links below. I will be coming out with another video next week, hopefully with some more information on what Bitcoin is doing and what's going to decide in this little upcoming section right here. That's the big deciding moment. I have also a very special video coming out relatively soon in the next couple weeks that you guys should definitely keep your eyes out for, involving one of my there's a line. One of a project I'm very excited for, and maybe even an interview. So I will be talking to you guys about that in the future. Thanks for signing in, guys. Appreciate it. Check out our Discord, check out our Reddit and such, and have a great day.